Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Theresa, and I am here to do another movement art lesson with you today. So today we are learning all about the earth, but we're going to do our lesson a little bit differently than we've been doing our lessons before. So first thing, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we'll be learning about today and show you some pictures. Then we'll do our warm-up like we usually do, but after that we're going to dance and learn together. So we'll learn about the earth and we'll do some moves as we're learning about the earth. At the end, we'll put some of those moves together to create a dance. So while we're learning all about the earth today, we will talk about things found on the surface of the earth, like the 7 continents and the 5 oceans that are on the earth. We'll talk about the parts of the earth, like the North Pole and the South Pole, the different areas of the earth. We'll learn what the equator is and the northern and southern hemisphere. We'll talk about the rotation of the earth and its orbit. We'll learn how old the earth is, and we'll learn about something called geology today, and some things that change the earth and that have to do with geology. We're going to learn about how heat and pressure and time can change the earth. We're going to learn about what earth is like on the inside. So those are different layers of the earth: the core, the mantle, and the crust. We'll learn about solids, liquids, and gases today, and different things that we can find on the earth, like volcanoes and mountains and geysers. So lots of fun, cool things to learn about today. So let's go ahead, get ready to warm up. We're going to do our warm-up a little differently today too. So you might need your teacher's help. You will probably need your teacher's help a little bit for your warm-up. Our warm-up is going to do some exercises on the floor today. So you may not have enough room for everybody to do the exercises together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate some of the exercises that we'll do first, just to make sure you know what they look like in case when you're on the floor you can't really see the Promethean board too well. So I'll show you those exercises first. Then your teacher can help you split into 2 groups. So one group will stay in their seats while the other group can do their warm-up exercises, and then we'll switch. And I'll do it both times with you, just to make sure that you guys know what we're doing, okay? Just that'll make sure that everybody has enough space so that when we're on the floor, we're not bumping into each other, and we have enough space to do our warm-up movements. So the first thing I'll do right now is show you the different exercises, warm-up moves that we're going to do. You guys can stay in your seats for now, and after you've seen the moves that we're going to do, you can pause the video, teachers, and separate your students. Group 1 will stay in their seat. Group 2 will be in a spot on the floor, either behind their desks or in front of their desks, or if you want to spread them out where they can see and they're properly distanced, that will work too. And then you can push pause again and we'll do our warm-ups together. Okay guys, so first I'm going to show you these warm-ups that we're going to do today, and the warm-ups we're going to do are going to be working our core. So our core is our center, our muscles in our center of our body, and we'll talk about a different core later on. So I'll show you first, and then teachers, you can pause the video and spread your first group of students out so we can do our core workout together. So I'm just going to scoot back a little bit so you can see me here. So I am going to sit on my bottom. Actually, the first one I'll start facing this way. So I'm sitting on my bottom and the soles of my feet are together. So that means the bottoms of my feet are together this way, right? So soles of my feet are together, and I'm going to start off, I'm lifted up, so my core is lifted, I'm pulling those muscles in my belly and my sides up and in, and I'm just gently going to go side to side, waking up my core. I'm going to do this side to side 8 times. Then, after I do it 8 times, I'm going to go side, and I'm going to roll forward. I'll go back to the side and up. I'm going to do that 4 times in one direction, right? And then I'll do it the other direction. So I'll go side, roll forward, side, and up. And every time I come back to the center, I'm lifting my belly nice and high. Good. Yep. So we'll do it 4 times a little semicircle one way, 4 times a little semicircle the other way. Then we're going to curve forward. Then we're going to straighten our spine and come up. Curve forward. Drop. Straighten our spine. Come up. We'll curve forward. Straighten our spine up. Curve forward. Straighten our spine up. We'll do that 4 times also. Then we're going to turn to the side. You might not need to turn to the side, but I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm sitting up, belly's lifted up high, sitting up high on my bottom. I'm going to reach my hands out to the front, and I'm going to curve my spine, so I'm sending my core backwards. I'm going to roll down. You might not be able to see me. Then I'm going to roll back up. I'll do about 1 million of these. Not really, but we'll do a lot of these rolls. So we'll roll down, working our core muscles. After we do a few, I'll tell you when we'll roll down a little bit and we'll hold it. We'll roll down a little bit and we'll hold it. Roll down a little bit and hold it a little bit more. And then all the way up again. So we'll do that several times. We might repeat a little bit. We probably won't have time to though. So those are the exercises we're going to do, and while we do it, I will be talking you through it so you can hear what to do as well. All right, so let's go ahead and pause the video. Teachers, if you could place about half of your students' distance on the floor where they can see the Promethean board, ideally, then you can unpause it and we'll get started with the first group. Okay, here we go. First group, the soles of our feet are together. We're sitting up tall, lifting up our core. My hands are on my legs. You can put your hands on your legs like that too. Here we go, side to side, gently 1 and 2. See if you can notice the way that your muscles on your sides and your belly feel. I think this is 6, this is 7, this is 8. We'll go side one more time. We're going to curve forward and side and up. And we're warming up our core forward, side and up. This is our third one like this and side and up. Here we go. 4. Front, side. Now we go other side. 1, 2, 3 and up. And 1, 2, 3, lifting up. This is 3, 2, 3, lifting up, and 4, 2, 3, lifting up. Now we'll curve our spine, good, and go forward, and we're going to straighten up, sitting up. 4 of these, curve and forward, straight spine and up, curve and forward, straight spine and up. And we'll curve and forward, straight spine and up. I'm turning side so you can see what I'm doing. Reaching hands, sitting up nice and tall. We'll curve, we'll roll down. And we'll roll back up. Good, good, good. Curve, roll down. And we'll roll back up. See if you can reach your hands out in front and do this without touching the side. Curve. Good, and we'll roll back up. And curve. And we'll roll back up. Okay, very good. Now curve a little a little bit more. Hold it. Curve a little bit more. Hold it. All the way down and up. Excellent. Okay, teachers, if you need to switch out groups, you can do that, and we're going to do the same exercises with our second group. All right, here we go. We'll put our feet together, hands on our legs, and we're going to go side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go side, forward, side, and up again. 2, forward, side, and up again. 3, forward, side, and up again. 4, forward, side, other side we go. Side, forward, side, and up again. 2, forward, side, and up again. 3, forward, side, and up again. 4, forward, side, and up. Curve your spine, go forward, then straighten and up. Curve your spine and forward and straighten and up. Curve your spine and forward and straighten and up again. Curve and forward and straighten and up. I'll turn to the side. Ready, arms out, sitting up tall, rolling down and rolling up. Good, and rolling down and rolling up. Good, and rolling down and rolling up. Good, and rolling down and rolling up. Good, roll down a little bit. Hold it, hold it, hold. Roll down a little bit. Hold it, hold it, hold a little bit more. And hold it, all the way down and all the way up. Great job. Okay, guys, so what we can do now is we can go ahead and stand up behind our chairs with our feet together, hands by our sides, and let's learn a little bit about the earth. Okay, guys, so our feet are together, our hands are by our sides, eyes and ears towards the screen. It's time to learn about the earth. Now, as we're learning, we're also going to be moving. So when you see me doing a move, you can do the move along with me. But if I'm not doing a move, or we're looking at some pictures or doing a little talking, just remember to come back to standing behind your chair with your feet together and your hands by your sides. All right, so let's talk about Earth. So Earth is where we live. It is the third planet from the sun, and it is our home. We know that the earth is very big, and it is also round. It's shaped like a sphere. So let's do a move. We'll make our move more like a circle than a sphere, but we're going to do a movement to show that the earth is big and round. We'll start with our fingers. Go along with me. So we're going to make a big circle, big. And a circle is round too, right? So let's make a big one. Let's try again. Here we go. The earth is big and round. Now, on the surface of the earth, that means the top part or the outside part of the earth, we've got some land, some solid land, and some water, some ocean. So the land is called, actually, let's think about different kinds of lands, and we can make a shape to show that we know what land is. We'll make a shape that doesn't move, right? It holds its own shape, like a solid holds its own shape. So let's make this shape for a mountain. So on the surface of the earth, there's land, and there's also water, like the ocean. So we're going to do, now water is liquid, so it's a little different. It changes its shape. So let's do a move for that to show a move kind of like the ocean. So I'm thinking of ocean waves when I do these moves around. So we know on the surface of the earth, there's water, like our oceans, and there's land, like our mountains. So the earth is big and covered with solid land like a mountain, or liquid water like an ocean? Okay. Now there are 7 land continents, 7 continents. Those are land masses, big pieces of land. So since we know that there are 7, we're going to do 7 shapes. Now they don't have to be exactly the same, but we can say them out loud what those continents are. Africa is the first one. Second is Antarctica. Third is Asia. And then fourth we have Australia. Good, that's our 4th shape. Then 5th we have Europe. 6th we have North America. And for 7th we have South America. Good, say those with me. Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. Very good. There are 5 oceans on the planet Earth too. So we're going to do our liquidy move for oceans while we say those. So those are the Atlantic. Let's use levels going from high to low. A level is how high or low you are in movement art. Let's use levels to do our oceans too, just for fun. So we have the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the last one we have is the Southern Ocean, or sometimes we say the Antarctic Ocean. Let's try those again. Atlantic, say it with me. Arctic, Indian, Pacific, Southern, or Antarctic. Very good. Okay, we're learning lots about the Earth. So more things about the Earth. So the Earth has different parts to it. We know we have land, we know we have water, but we also have certain spots that are very important. One thing that we imagine on the Earth, but we don't really have, is called its axis. Can you say axis with me? Ready? Here we go. Axis. The Earth's axis is like an invisible pole that goes right through the middle of it. So let's make an axis from the top of us, and we'll imagine an invisible pole that goes down through the middle, through the bottom. So we'll say axis, yeah? Okay, so we've got the North Pole would be at the top. We've got the South Pole would be at the bottom. Boop. And the Earth actually rotates. It spins around on its axis. So we'll do this non-locomotor move staying in one spot. Yes? Okay, so the Earth has, and do it with me, axis, that's an invisible pole. We've got the North Pole up top, the South Pole down bottom, and it spins around on that axis. We call that rotation. So the Earth rotates. Rotate with me. Great job. So that rotation is different than the other kind of move that the Earth does, which is called an orbit. So an orbit is when an object goes around another object. And we know what the Earth orbits, right? The sun. That's right. So let's do an orbit move. We can imagine the sun's right here, and we can imagine we're the Earth. And we can orbit around. Oh, now I'm doing a tiptoe locomotor move because I'm traveling around the sun. Let's do one more orbit. Traveling around the sun. That's our orbit. Okay, awesome. Now, one more imaginary line that the Earth has is called the equator. Can you guys say equator? Equator, that's right. Okay, so that's a line that goes through from the middle of the Earth. So maybe we can draw a line in the middle of our bodies, like the equator, right across. Okay, so all of the part that's above the equator is called the northern hemisphere. All of the part that's below the equator is called the southern hemisphere. Well, we have learned a lot and done a lot of moves about the Earth already so far. So remember, let's go back and remember some. We know the Earth is big and round. Do it with me. That's where we live. We have solid land on the surface of the Earth, and we have liquid water like oceans on the surface of the Earth. as well. There are 7 continents. The land masses are Africa, say it with me, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America, and 5 oceans, the Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Southern Ocean. We have an imaginary line called the Earth's axis that goes through the middle of the Earth. The top, down the center, is the North Pole, the South Pole, and it rotates around its axis, spinning around like a non-locomotor move. But it also does another move around the sun, and that one's called an orbit. Aha, very good. There's one more imaginary line that goes right across. That's the equator. Everything above the equator is called the northern hemisphere. Everything below the equator is called the southern hemisphere. Now we know that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. That's a long, long time. That's very, very old. Well, we know it's about 4.5 billion years old. So scientists can tell us about how old it is. So one kind of scientist is called a geologist, and that kind of scientist is a scientist who studies the Earth. We call the study of the Earth geology. And a few things that we know about the Earth is that heat and pressure and time all affect the way and change the way and make the Earth the way that it is. So heat, let's do a gesture move for heat. Oh, heat, I think about being so hot. So we know heat, and then do you know the word pressure? Pressure is when things are pushing against each other. So let's use some force and really push against for pressure. Pressure move. And then we'll do a time move. We'll do another gesture like we're looking at a watch. So we know that heat and pressure and time all have to do with geology and the way that the Earth is. So we talked about the surface of the Earth, but now let's talk about what's inside of the Earth. So there are actually different layers inside of the Earth. Can you guys say layers with me? Layers. Okay, so let's think about a move for layers. Layers is like when there's one part underneath another part or on top another part. So we're making layers, and we're using levels when we do this move. That means we're going higher, and lower. Layers, layers. Okay, excellent. So the layers of the Earth are the core. Okay, so the core is the very center. Do you guys remember when we were warming up and using our core? Yeah, we were using our center. Okay, so that's the center of our body. The Earth has a core too. It's the center of the Earth. The inner core is solid, and that core is very, very hot, but it's solid from all of the pressure. So let's do a move for pressure. Oh, pushing together. Okay, so that's like the solid. But then there's an outer core that's a little bit outside of that, and it's liquidy. It's very, very hot metal. Okay, we call that molten. It's molten metal. Okay, so inner core is the center. It's solid. Outer core is molten metal. Now outside of that is the mantle. It's mostly solid, but a little bit liquid, right? It's mostly solid. Most of it stays its shape, but the part that's closest to the core is liquidy. And then the outermost layer of the Earth is called the crust, and it's the thinnest layer. So let's imagine we're creating a thin layer of crust that way. The thin layer of the Earth's crust. Okay, very good. So a couple more things about planet Earth. We know that we have volcanoes. Thumbs up if you know about volcanoes. Okay, so volcanoes are mountains. Let's do our mountain shape again. Volcanoes are mountains that are formed over a crack in the Earth's crust. Okay, so there's a crack in the crust. So below that crack is actually something that we call magma. So what magma is molten rock, right? So let's do, molten means it's liquid, and it's liquid because it's hot. Remember how we said heat changes or has a lot to do with geology. So when things are hot, heated up, they can become liquid, like rocks can become liquid. Okay, so here's all this magma and this heat. So all that heat is creating some pressure. And what's going to happen eventually is that magma is going to find its way up through the surface of the earth and come through the volcano. Now, when it comes out, it's called lava, and the lava can flow out. Some volcanoes flow out kind of slowly, kind of like the lava. Some of the lava might in Hawaii, and it can create new land, right? That's how new land can be formed over a lot of time. But also some volcanoes can be big, explosive volcanoes like Mount St. Helens. Let's do a big explosion from all of that pressure, and it can blow up the top, okay, of the mountain. The last thing that we're going to learn today is a geyser, is about a geyser. So a geyser is kind of like a volcano, but it's kind of different. Geysers don't have lava coming out. It's actually steam and water that comes out of a geyser. So a geyser forms when liquid water goes down through the earth and it hits some hot rocks. You guys are doing some moves with me, right? So it's going to hit those hot rocks, and that's going to create some steam. So steam is actually a gas. It's different than a liquid and a solid, okay? Gases expand, and when the gas expands and more water trickles down, and the gas is going to expand even more, that creates more pressure. And then what happens is that water and steam is going to find a way to come out. You guys doing it with me? So it's like a geyser, water and steam coming out of the ground too. Okay, great job, my friends. Let's put a few of those moves together one more time and see what we have learned about our planet Earth today. Ready? Here we go. We know it's big and round. It's made up of solid land like mountains, liquid like oceans, 7 different continents: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. It's got 5 oceans: the Atlantic, the Arctic, the Indian, the Pacific, and the Southern Ocean. It's got an axis, an invisible line that goes straight down, a North Pole, a South Pole, and it rotates on its axis. There's another invisible line called the equator that goes right through the middle. It separates the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. We know the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and that geology, the study of the Earth, when we are talking about geology, we know that heat and pressure and time has to do with the way that the Earth is. We know there's different layers of the Earth on the inside. There's the core is solid, the inner core is solid, the outer core is liquid. The mantle is mostly solid, but a little liquid, and the crust is the thin layer all on the outside of the Earth. We know about volcanoes being mountains that are formed over cracks in the Earth, where a magma chamber, that's molten rock, can be, and magma can travel up because of heat and pressure, and magma comes up, but out of the Earth comes lava, and that can form new land. And we also know that geysers can be formed when water travels down and hits hot rocks, which creates a gas, and then gas and water come out of the Earth too. Whoa, we really learned a lot about Earth today, and we were able to do some moves while we were learning about Earth too. I hope that you guys had a good time learning about our planet Earth, and I will see you next time. Let's put our feet together and our hands by our sides so we can take a big bow for all of the awesome work that we've done today. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, boys and girls.